Morning, my dear children. I welcome you all to the Social Science online class, 10th Standard, History, 6th Lesson, Early Revolts Against British Rule in Tamil Nadu.
Children, before we could start the lesson, I would like to share the topic of the lesson. What is the topic of the lesson? The early revolts against the British rule in Tamil Nadu. So, before the Great Revolt, when was the Great Revolt happened means 1857. So, before itself, half century itself, the Tamil Palayakas were started to against the British. Now we will see that is the East India Company began to consolidate and extend its power and influence. So the British East India Company started to extend its power. The local kings, feudal chieftains resisted this. But the local kings and the feudal chieftains and all, they not at all liked the power of the British. The first resistance from Pulithevar Nerkattum Seval. So, who made the first resistance or against the British means Pulithevar Nerkattum Seval. Then followed by others, Velu Nachiyar, Kattabomman, the Marudu brothers, Dhiran Chinnamalai, known as the Palayakas was, and the culmination of which was Vellore Revolt in the year 1806. That is the highest peak, high form where it ended now, the Vellore Revolt. When it happened means 1806. Now belongs to this
Learning objectives. From this lesson, what we are going to learn means Palayaka system and the revolts of the Palayakas against the British, Velu Nachiyar, Pulithevar, Kattabomman and Marudu brothers in the anti-British uprisings, Vellore revolt as a response to the British pacification of South India. Resistance of regional powers against the British, Palayams and Palayakas. The word Palayam means domain, a military camp or a little kingdom. What's its meaning? Palayam means a domain or a military camp or a little kingdom. Palayakas, British referred to them Poligar. Under this system, Palayam was given for valuable military services rendered by any individual. They hand over to somebody, a village or Palayam likewise. They govern them. This system was put in place in Tamil Nadu by Vishwanatha Nayak when he became the Nayak rule of Madurai in the year 1529. So, in Tamil Nadu, who introduced this system means Vishwanatha Nayak, and year is 1529, Nayak rule, with the support of his minister Ariyanadar. So, who helped to him now? His minister Ariyanadar. Traditionally, there were supposed to be 72 Palayakas. How many Palayakas were there means 72 Palayakas. Among the 72 Palayakas created by the Nayak rules, there were two blocks, Eastern and the Western Palayams. Eastern Palayams were Satur, Nagalapuram, Etayapuram and Panjalangurichi, and the Western Palayams were Udumalai, Talavankotai, Naduvakurichi, Singampatti, Seitur. The Palayakas were free to collect revenue, administer the territory, settle dispute among and maintain law and order. So, what were the duties of these Palayakas means? Collect the revenues and control or administer their territory, which village they gave, that's one. and any dispute happened among the people means they settled and maintained the law and order. Their police duty. So this was known as police duty. And Padaikaval or Arasukaval. How they told or called means Padaikaval or Arasukaval. On many occasions, the Palayakas helped the Nayaks' rules to restore their kingdom to them. These Palayakas helped to the Nayakas' rules to restore their kingdom when they need help, means they send. The personal relationship and understanding between the king and the Palayakas made the system to last for about 200 years. Continuously, it happened 200 years from the Nayaks of Madurai until the takeover of these territories by the British. When the British take these territories, till that the Palayaks rule were there. Revolt 1755 to 1801. Revolt of Pulithevar 1755 to 1767. Among the Palayakas, Pulithevar also important one. In March 1755, Mahfuz Khan, brother of the Nawab of Arcot, Mahfuz Khan, who means brother of the Nawab of Arcot, was sent with a contingent. Contingent means a division of defense force of the company army under Colonel Heron to Tirunelveli. They sent one army force. Pulithevar, as he continued to defy the authority of the company. Defy means opposing. Always Pulithevar opposing the British. So this time also he opposed the authority of the company. Pulithevar wielded much influence over the Western Palayakas. Wielded means control the Western Palayakas. Confederacy and alliance with enemies of the British. 3 Pathan officers, Miana, Mudimaya and Nabi Khan Katak, commanded the Madurai and Tirunelveli regions. These officers commanded the Madurai and Tirunelveli regions. They supported the Tamil Palayakas against Arcot Nawab Muhammad Ali. These officers supported the Tamil Palayakas and against the Arcot Nawab Muhammad Ali. Pulithevar had established close relationship with them. So Pulithevar had a close relationship with these Pathan officers. Pulithevar also formed a confederacy, a group of the Palayakas to fight the British. Nawab sent an additional contingent of Sipais to Mahfuz Khan and the reinforced army produced to Tirunelveli. So the Nawab sent an additional contingent forces of Sipai to Mahfuz Khan. Before Mahfuz Khan could station his troops near Kalakad, before Mahfuz Khan reached near Kalakad, 2,000 soldiers from Travancore joined the forces of Pulithevar. So Travancore king sent 2,000 soldiers and they readily met in Kalakad. So they joined the forces of Pulithevar in the battle at Kalakad. Mahfuz Khan's troops were routed. So Mahfuz Khan's were defeated. Yusuf Khan and Pulithevar. The organized resistance of the Palayakas under Pulithevar gave an opportunity to the English to interfere directly in the affairs of Tirunelveli. So the organized resistance of the Palayakas, so many Palayakas they join and against the resistance. Okay. Under Pulithevar gave an opportunity to the English king to interfere directly in the affairs of Tirunelveli. Yusuf Khan, also known as Khan Sahib or before his conversion to Islam, Marudunayagam. Before he was Hindu and afterwards he changed his religion. So Yusuf Khan already he was Hindu, then later he changed his religion. Who had been sent by the company was not prepared to attack Pulidevar unless the big guns and ammunitions from Trichinapalli arrived. So the company was not prepared to attack Pulidevar. They are expecting the big guns and war equipments from Trichinapalli. On 16th May 1761, Pulidevar's three major forces, Nirkattum Seval, Vasudeva Nallur and Panniyur came under the control of Yusuf Khan. So, Yusuf Khan got war equipments from British company and he started attack Pulidevar and he brought these places under their control. Fall of Pulidevar. After the death of Khan Sahib, Pulidevar returned from exile and recaptured Nirkattum Seval in 1764. So he was captured in the year 1764. However, he was defeated by Captain Campbell. So this time also he was defeated for Pulidevar in the year 1767. Pulidevar escaped and died in exile. So he escaped but he was died without the that means his own country like. Next, Ondiveeran. Ondiveeran led one of the army units of Pulidevar. He was one of the army of Pulidevar fighting by the side of Pulidevar. So he fight with the side of Pulidevar. He caused much damage to the company's armies. He was a great warrior. So he caused so much of damages to the company's army. According to the oral tradition, in one battle, Ondiveeran's hand was chopped, means cut off, and Pulidevar was saddened. When Pulidevar heard this, he was worried so much, but Ondiveeran said it was a reward for his penetration into enemy's fort, causing many heads to roll. So this hand only used so much to cut the head of the British. Velu Nachiyar, 1730 to 1796. Velu Nachiyar was born in 1732, the Raja Chellamuthu Sedupati of Ramanathapuram. Velu Nachiyar was the only daughter of this royal family. So, Ramanathapuram Chellamuthu Sedupati's daughter was Velu Nachiyar. The king had no male heir on varis. The royal family brought up the princess Velu Nachiyar, training her in materials arts like Vallery, stick fighting and to wood weapons. So the royal family brought up the princess Velu Nachiyar and gave a training also all the materials like a Vallery, stick fighting, wall beach, stick fighting, silambam and wood weapons and other weapons also. She was adept in horse riding and archery, will with a horse riding also. Apart from her proficiency in she well-known English, French and Urdu. At the age of 16, Velu Nachiyar was married to Muthu Vadugar, the Raja of Sivagangai. So, Velu Nachiyar married Muthu Vadugar, the Raja of Sivagangai. Who was Muthu Vadugar? The Raja of Sivagangai, and had a daughter by name Vella Nachiyar. So they had a daughter also, Vella Nachiyar. 1772, the Nawab of Arcot and the company troops, Lieutenant Bonjour, attacked Kalayar Kovil Palace and killed Muthu Vadugar. Velu Nachiyar escaped with her daughter and lived under the protection of Gopala Nayak at Virupachi near Dindigul for 8 years. Velu Nachiyar explained in detail in Urdu all the problems she had with East India Company. So she asked help from Hyder Ali. So Velu Nachiyar explained in detail in Urdu all the problems what she had with East India Company. She conveyed her strong determination to fight the English. Impressed by her courage, Hyder Ali ordered his commandant Syed in Dindikal fort to provide the required military assistance. So impressed by her courage, Hyder Ali accepted to help Velu Nachiyar. Velu Nachiyar employed agents for gathering intelligence to find where the British had stored their ammunition. So, where the British had their military equipments, that place Velu Nachiyar chose. She was crowned as queen with the help of Marudu brothers. She was the first female ruler or queen to resist the British colonial power in India. Nachiyar got the military assistance from Gopal Nayak and Hyder Ali. She captured the Sivagangai. Both with help, she got again recaptured the Sivagangai. Then, with the help of Marudu brothers, she was the first female ruler or queen to resist the British colonial power. She only the female person first person to resist the British colonial power in India. Rebellion of Veerapandiya Kattabomman, 1790 to 1799. You know very well about Kattabomman. In lower classes you studied about that. Okay, come on, now listen. Veerapandiya Kattabomman became the Palayakarar of Panjalankuruchi at the age of 30 on the death of his father, Jagaveera Pandiya Kattabomman. So, who was his father? Means Kattabomman's father means Jagaveera Pandiya Kattabomman. After his death, at the age of 30, Kattabomman got that power as a Palayakar. The company's administrators James London and Colin Jackson had considered him a man of peaceful disposition. The company had thus gained the right to collect taxes from Panjalankuruchi. So these two persons, James London and Colin Jackson, considered him as a man of peaceful disposition and they got the power to collect the revenue of Panjalankuruchi taxes. The company appointed its collector to collect taxes from all the Palayams. The collectors humiliated the Palayakars and adopted force to collect the taxes. This was the bone of contention between the English and Kattabomman. So, the East India companies, they send the forces and collect the taxes. So, this was the reason between a bitter position to English and the Kattabomman. Confrontation with Jackson. Situation of disagreement. Disagree. The land revenue arrear from Kattabomman was 3,310 pagodas in 1798. So, they want to pay these taxes. Collector Jackson, an arrogant English officer, wanted to send an army to collect the revenue dues, but the Madras government did not give him permission. Collector Jackson, he was an arrogant English officer and he sent an army to collect the revenues, but the government did not accept that. On 18 August 1798, he ordered Kattabomman to meet him in Ramanathapuram, but Kattabomman not met him. Later he asked the permission. At last, Kattabomman met Jackson in Ramanathapuram on 19th September 1798. It is said that Kattabomman had to stand for 3 hours before the haughty collector Jackson. Sensing danger, Kattabomman tried to escape along with his minister Sivasubramaniam. At the gate of the Ramanathapuram fort, there was a clash in which some people, including Lieutenant Clark, were killed. Sivasubramaniam was taken prisoner. So, Jackson not permitted. Later he accepted and 19th September 1798 he met Jackson and he stood 3 hours. So, sensing danger, Kattabomman escaped from there. Appearance before Madras Council. On his return to Panjalanguruchi, Kattabomman represented to the Madras Council about how he was ill-treated by the Collector Jackson. So, in Madras Council, he explained how he was ill-treated. Then, Governor Edward Clive ordered the release of Sivasubramaniam and the suspension of the Collector Jackson also. Kattabomman and the Confederacy of Palayakas. In the meantime, Marudhu Pandiyar of Sivagangai formed the South Indian Confederacy, that means a group of rebels against the British. So, with the neighboring Palayakas like Gopal Nayak and Dindukal and Yadul Nayak of Anaimalai, Marudhu Pandiyar acted as its leader. The Tiruchirappalli proclamation had been made. Kattabomman was interested in the Confederacy. Marudhu brothers and Kattabomman jointly decided on a confederation. So both they accepted to meet with the English. Kattabomman tried to influence Sivagiri Palayakas who refused to join. But the Palayakas of Sivagiri was tributary of the company, so the company considered the expectation of Kattabomman as a challenge to their authority. So the company felt that Kattabomman was a challenge to their authority. So the company ordered the army to march on Tirunelveli, the siege of Panjalanguruchi. In May 1799, Lord Wellesley issued orders from Madras for the advance of forces from Tiruchirappalli, Tanjavur and Madurai to Tirunelveli. So, who was on the time? Governor means Lord Wellesley. Year 1799, he issued an order from Madras for the advance of forces from Tiruchirappalli, Tanjavur and Madurai to Tirunelveli. Major Bannerman. So, who was commanded that one? Major Bannerman, the troops. Bannerman, on 5 September, they cut off all the communications to the fort. Bannerman deputed Ramalinganar to convey a message asking Kattabomman to surrender. But Kattabomman refused this. The Bannerman asked to surrender Kattabomman, but Kattabomman refused. Ramalinganar gathered all the secrets of the fort and on the basis of his report. In a clash at Kallarapatti, Sivasubramanianar was taken as a prisoner. Execution of Kattabomman. Kattabomman escaped to Pudukottai. The British put a price on his head. So Kattabomman escaped from that Kallarapatti and the British put a price on his head. Betrayed by the Rajas of Etayapuram and Pudukottai, Kattabomman was finally captured. So Pudukottai person, king of Pudukottai, told about Kattabomman. Finally, he was captured. Sivasubramanianar was executed at Nagalapuram on 13th September. Kattabomman was hanged from a tamarind tree in the old fort of Kayatharu, close to Tirunelveli, in front of the fellow of Palayakas. So, before the Palayakas itself, the British hanged Kattabomman in Kayatharu. Thus ended the life of the celebrated Palayakas of Panjalanguruchi. Here I gave Panjalanguruchi's fort. Next, the topic is the Marudhu brothers. We will see this. The Marudhu brothers. Periya Marudhu or Vella Marudhu 1748 to 1801 and his younger brother Chinna Marudhu 1753 to 1801 were able generals of Muthuvadukar of Sivagangai. So, Periya Marudhu and Chinna Marudhu, able generals of Muthuvadukar of Sivagangai. After Muthuvadukar's death in the Kalayar Koil battle, Marudhu brothers assisted in restoring the throne to Velu Nachiyar. They worked hard and made a war with the British and restored the throne to Velu Nachiyar. After the death of Kattabomman, they worked along with his brother, Kattabomman's brother Oomathurai, and they plundered the granaries of the Nawab and caused damage and destruction to the company's troops. They plundered the wealth, granaries of the Nawab and caused the damage and destruction to the company troops. Proclamation of 1801. The proclamation of 1801 was an early call to the Indians to unite against the British cutting across region, caste, creed and religion. So all the Indian persons, they asked them to join and against the British. This proclamation was pasted on the walls of the Nawab Palace in Trichinapalli Fort, on the walls of the Srirangam temple. Many Palayakas of Tamil country rallied together to fight against the English. They were ready to fight against the English. Chinnamarudu collected nearly 20,000 men to challenge the English army. British forces were rushed from Bengal, Ceylon and Malaya. They returned from there. The Rajas of Pudukottai, Etayapuram and Tanjavur stood by the British. They were on the side of the British. Divide and rule policy followed by the English split the forces of the Palayakas soon. Fall of Sivagangai. In May 1801, the English attacked the rebels in Tanjavur and Trichinapalli. First, English attacked the rebels in Tanjavur and Trichinapalli. The rebels went to Piranmalai and Kalayar Koil. They were again defeated by the forces of the English. There also, the rebels were defeated by the English. In the end, the superior military strength and the able commanders of the English company prevailed. The rebellion failed and Sivagangai was annexed in the year 1801. The rebels were controlled and they failed. Sivagangai was annexed in the year 1801. The Marudu brothers were executed in the fort of Tirupattur near Ramanathapuram on 24th October 1801. They were executed on 24th October 1801. Oomathurai and Sevathaiya were captured and beheaded at Panjalangurichi on 16th November 1801. They were also killed. Oomathurai and Sevathaiya were the brothers of Kattabomman. Dheeran Chinnamalai 1756 to 1805. Born as Tirthagiri in 1756, when he was born means 1756, Dheeran was well trained in Silambu, archery, horse riding and modern warfare also. Silambatam, archery now, will with a horse riding and modern welfare also. He was involved in resolving family and land dispute in the Kongu region. He solved the problems and land dispute in the Kongu region. As the region was under the control of the Mysore Sultan, tax was collected by Tipu's Diwan Muhammad Ali. Once when the Diwan was returning to Mysore, he collected the tax and returned to Mysore. With the tax money, Tirthagiri blocked his way. He stopped that person and confiscated all the tax money. He took all the money and he led to Muhammad Ali go by instructing him to tell his Sultan that Chinnamalai, who is between Sivamalai and Chinnamalai, was the one who took away the taxes. He go and inform Chinnamalai took the taxes. Thus, he gained the name Dheeran Chinnamalai. And the affluent Diwan sent a contingent to attack Chinnamalai and both the forces. So the Diwan sent his army and asked them to attack Chinnamalai, and both the forces met and fought at the Noyal river bed. Chinnamalai emerged victorious. Chinnamalai got the victory. After Tipu's death, Dhiran Chinnamalai built a fort and fought the British without leaving the place. So, after the death of Tipu, Dhiran Chinnamalai built a fort there. Hence, this place is called Odanilai. So, this place was called Odanilai because he not at all left that place, staying there and against the British. He launched guerrilla attacks and evaded capture. Evaded means avoid to capture. So he followed the method of guerrilla. Finally, the English captured him and his brothers and kept them in prison in Sangagiri. Finally, they were captured by the British. When they were asked to accept the rule of the British asked them to accept their rule, but they were refused. So they were hanged at the top of the Sangagiri fort on 31st July 1805. So when they were refused, they were hanged at the top of the Sangagiri fort on 31st July 1805. Vellore Revolt 1806 or Vellore Mutiny. The most opportune situation come with the sons and the family members of Tipu being interned in Vellore Fort. So they were in Vellore Fort, who the Tipu and their Tipu's son and their family members. The trigger for the revolt came in the form of reason. For the revolt came in the form of a new military regulation notified by the Commander-in-Chief, Sir John Cardock. The commander, regulation also one of the reason for this. According to the new regulation, the Indian soldiers were asked not to wear caste marks on earrings when in uniform. So when they were in a uniform, caste mark or ring they won't be wear. They were to be cleanly shaven on the chin and maintain uniformity about how their mustache looked. So they have to clean shaven everything, maintain uniformity. The new turban added fuel to fire. So they introduced a new turban. The most objectionable addition was the leather cockade made of animal skin. So the leather, they used leather and it was used by animal skin. The sepoys gave enough for warning by refusing to wear the new turban. But the sepoys not accepted to wear, they refused that. Yet the company administration did not take heed, but the company was not accepted. Outbreak of the revolt. On 10th July 1806, when was the revolt started means 10th July 1806, the early hours, guns were bombing and the Indian sepoys of the 1st and 23rd regiments. So 1st regiment and 23rd regiments raised their standard of revolt. Colonel Fancourt, who commanded the garrison, was the first victim. Fancourt was the first person were killed by the rebellions. Colonel Meekers of the 23rd regiment was killed next. Next person was Meekers. About a dozen of the officers, so more than 12 officers were killed within an hour or so. Among them, Lieutenant Ely and Lieutenant Popham belonged to His Majesty Battalion. They belonged to British Regiment. Gillespie's brutality. Major Coots, who was outside the fort, informed Colonel Gillespie, the cavalry commandant in Arcot. So Major Goods informed to Gillespie. Gillespie reached the fort along with squadron of cavalry under the command of Captain Young at 9 a.m. In the meantime, the rebels proclaimed Fate Haider, Tipu's eldest son, as their new ruler and hoisted the tiger flag of Mysore Sultans in the fort. So, Gillespie got the message and he came to Vellore Fort. In the meantime, the rebels proclaimed informed Sheikh Haider. He was Tipu's eldest son, and as their new ruler, he only the new ruler, and hoisted the Tiger flag of Mysore Sultan in the fort, Vellore Fort. But the uprising was swiftly crushed by Colonel Gillespie, who threw to winds all war ethics. So he controlled everything. Consequences of revolt, outcomes of the revolt. 6 of the rebels were convicted by the court of inquiry, were blown from the guns. So 6 members were convicted by the court and 5 were shot dead, 8 hanged. Tipu's son were ordered to be sent to Calcutta. So they sent the Tipu's son Sheikh Haider to Calcutta. The officers and men engaged in the suppression who involved in that one of the revolt were rewarded with prize money and promotion also. Colonel Gillespie was given 7,000 pagodas. Estimate of revolt. The Vellore revolt failed because there was no immediate help from outside. There was no immediate help from outside, so it was failed. Vellore revolt had all the forebodings of the Great Rebellion of 1857. It is foreboding to the Great Rebellion of 1857. The only difference was that there was no civil rebellion following the mutiny. After that, there was no civil rebellion. The 1806 revolt was not confined to Vellore Fort. It not only ended with the Vellore Fort, it had its echoes in Bellary, Valajabad, Hyderabad, Bengaluru, Nandidurga and Sangagiri Durga. Here I gave centers of early revolts against British rule in Tamil Nadu. That map, Tamil Nadu map, some important early revolts places also. Please check the map. Okay children, now we will wind up the class. From this lesson, we have learned the unity and the courage of the Palayakas. Thank you. God bless you.